Hi there, I hope you're well today. When I first started thinking about stopping drinking, for the months and years that led up to me actually stopping drinking and starting to live my life sober, and in fact, even in the early days of living my life sober, when I used to hear other people and see other people that would say things like, oh yeah, I just don't want to drink anymore. I don't need alcohol. I don't feel that urge to drink. I don't desire a drink. I used to watch people kind of going out or reporting back after a night out and saying things like, yeah, I didn't even want to drink. And I would be absolutely 100% certain that I could never feel like that, that could never be me. I used to think that, I was always going to have this drive to drink, that I was never going to be able to enjoy an evening out without alcohol. I was never going to be able to enjoy a meal. I was never going to be able to relax. I was never going to be able to unwind. I was never going to be able to have a laugh and be uninhibited without alcohol. And I really struggled to believe that that was possible for me. All of these other people that were reporting that they'd reached a stage in their alcohol-free lives, that they'd got to this stage where it was so effortless and easy that they could just simply go out, or they could socialise with family and friends and just not think about drinking anymore. I couldn't conceive that that was possible for me. It was kind of like I was thinking of myself as a different species to them. Like they were people that could do that, and I was simply somebody that couldn't do that. That I was always going to desire that drink. And of course, one of the reasons that I felt like that and thought like that was because that's all I knew at the time. That was what the unconscious part of my brain had been conditioned to believe. And so because I believed that and I thought that, I didn't know any other reality was possible. So it was really challenging for me to see beyond that and see that another reality was possible. And here I am several years down the line. And the reason that this has kind of sprung to my mind, and the reason that I want to share this with you, is because it was Easter weekend just gone. And my son and his girlfriend had come down from a different part of the UK, and they had cooked us dinner. They were staying in a beautiful house in Cambridge, and they were cooking us a meal on Easter Sunday. So my boyfriend and I went over on Easter Sunday. We met up with my parents there, and we had a lovely family meal. So the booze was flowing. My dad was drinking wine. My son's girlfriend was drinking gin and tonics. My son and his girlfriend had heavy hangovers from the night before, so they were sort of hair of the dogging it. My boyfriend was drinking lager. Everybody was drinking except me. And the point I want to share with you is this, that at no point did I sit there thinking, oh, I wish I could have a drink. Oh, I wish I could have one of those wines. At no point did my mind do what it used to do when I first stopped drinking. At no point did it kind of flip into that, oh, what if? What if if only I could have one drink. If only I could. In the early days, when I first stopped drinking, I would quite often find myself imagining what it would be like if I had that drink, what it would taste like, what it would feel like as it went down my throat, what it would feel like as it kind of heated up my belly, that kind of heat from the alcohol as it flooded through my belly. I would kind of imagine that and think, oh, if only, oh, I wish. And that used to happen fairly often in the early days of me living my life sober. And it doesn't happen at all anymore. And that's the message I want to get across to you today. That's the light at the end of the tunnel I want to give you. That's the reassurance for you, is that my Easter Sunday meal, with all of this booze flowing, being surrounded by people drinking, I was taking pictures of the meal, I was posting them on Instagram, and there were empty wine glasses and some full wine glasses there, and people were saying to me, well, should you be taking pictures and images of drink and posting it online when you're, you're promoting this whole Go Get Sober website, and you're all about living life sober. And I said, well, yeah, sure, of course, because the whole point is we're surrounded by booze in every area of our lives. You go into a cinema, you go into a cafe, you go into a restaurant, you go into a bar, you go into a cafe, you go into I don't know, virtually everywhere I go there's booze. It's on billboards, it's on bus stops, it's on the side of buses, it's on TV. It's everywhere you look. You can't avoid it. It's in society. And it's really important, I think, to develop a healthy relationship with the world around you, and that world includes booze. So my relationship with booze now, and as was evidenced on Sunday when I was having this meal, is a very healthy one. I acknowledge it's there. I'm not frightened of it. I'm not scared of it. I don't hide away from it. I can pour it. I can cook with it. I can do all sorts of things with it. But I don't want to drink it anymore because I've lived life sober for long enough. I've practiced living life alcohol-free for long enough that it's just automatic. It's easy. It's effortless. And I don't even think about drinking anymore. And because it's so automatic and effortless, and because I know the benefits to me of living my life sober, because all those benefits are so clear in my mind, and because they're so much in evidence every day of my life, that I wouldn't want to go back to how I was before. I wouldn't want to risk that. I've got so many good things going on in my life right now that I wouldn't want to risk any of that by going back. So it's not a thought that enters my head. So even when I'm surrounded by other people drinking, I'm not having that thought of, oh, I wish I could have one, or if only I could have one. It just doesn't happen. And because I used to be someone who used to think that could never be true for me, that could never be possible for me, I wasn't one of that species that could live life happily not thinking about drinking, happily not wanting to drink, not desiring a drink, not having an urge for a drink. Because I didn't believe that was possible for me, I imagine that it could be similar for you too. And I want to reassure you that that's not true. That's just the unconscious part of your mind that's used to a certain way of living, used to certain habits, certain patterns and certain routines, that's trying to convince you that reality isn't possible for you, when the truth is it is possible for you, just the same as it was possible for me. It's just a case of getting yourself into the right mindset for living life happily sober, happily alcohol-free, and putting in the practice, putting in the proactive focus, concentration and energy in the early days, approaching it with the right mindset until you become effortlessly skilled at living life alcohol-free. For more inspiration, motivation, tips and techniques on living your life happily sober, you can subscribe to my channel. I'll look forward to catching up with you very soon. But in the meantime, let's go get sober together.